that just popped up for me. Oh, yeah.
How's everybody tonight on a Thursday? Almost a Friday. I'm going to poop my pants.
Yes.
I suppose I could bring up my notes, or I can expose my nuts. Whichever you prefer.
I'm here for the nuts.
I'm here for the nuts. Hey, Brandy. Hey, Pedro. You guys are the best. Thanks for being here, all two. Showing who the real motherfuckers are.
We'll be sitting at 36 steady, as always, anyways, in this chat.
Yeah.
It's always 34 or 36.
Hayden, Juan, Carter police here. We got the Carter police.
Thank you.
What do you call a discount circumcision? Tell me, necessary evil. I need to know.
A tip.
What's up, Jesse?
Just a tip.
Just what I needed. Post-tooth. Oh, God.
Tooth surgery. Oh, God.
Sorry, Sparky. You're going through that.
Hey, so if you get a ripoff.
It's stupid. Fuck you. I'm banning this guy. We can't have people in here funnier than us, can we?
No.
Because then they start to think they can do their own thing, and they think they're better than us. Juan. I'm going to ban him. What do you call a rip-off circumcision? Or, I'm sorry, what do you call a discount circumcision? A rip-off. All right. Well, let's get it going, guys. 22? We're up 22. It's a little early. We might be getting some of those old fogies that, you know.
Yeah.
Some people write us like, oh, you know, I gotta go to bed. Well, that's where we live our lives for the most parts, in bed. So
True.
Put that over there.
Yeah.
And we're gonna start it up.
Oh, yeah.
I've got some tremendously muddy butt cheeks, but like a phoenix from the ashes, you thought we were dead and gone. Oh, I was fine. I was fine this entire time.
Yeah, I did die a little bit, as you can tell by my voice.
This was a completely lopsided absence. I was not sick. I was completely healthy.
Yeah.
And I told you, I said, Rob, maybe we should have just done one by myself and told everyone that you're here. But you're just sick and you didn't feel good.
Couldn't speak.
You think they would have bought it?
Maybe.
Hell, man. I don't have enough money to buy anything, so it's Christmas time.
That's very true.
How exciting for you guys to be here with us, the Brohio Podcast, old corn cob, diggity dangle dog, Rob dog, corn cob pop. It's all kinds of names, right?
That's pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, and the delicious Nicolicious. Thanks, guys. We appreciate you being here. We're just two fat 30-something-year-old dads in a basement in Midwestern United States talking about conspiracies, talking about murders, talking about ghosts, talking about Bigfoot erotica. You go back a couple episodes, we got that, and you may say to yourself, what is Bigfoot erotica? I know exactly what it is.
Go back to the episode a couple episodes ago, you'll know.
That's where you're getting that big old stink pink right up inside you. You know what I'm saying?
The stinkiest and the pinkiest.
That's what I had a cousin. He was kind of a renegade, okay? And he used to ask me, he'd start asking me when I was about 10 if I lost my virginity. Every time I was around this dude.
Is he trying to get it off you or something?
I don't know. No. He'd just be like, you fucked, didn't you? But then when I finally did, he knew before he knew. He just stared at me. He just smiling and shaking his head. And he said, the Eagles landed. And I'm like, how does this guy know? But I remember one time it was homecoming or some kind of dance. He said, you going to fuck tonight? I was like, no. He said, you going to get you some stinky pinky? I said, what's that? You going to finger her? No, I'm not, man. I'm going to save that for when I get in the bed with all by myself.
That's so fucking weird.
God rest his soul. His name was Matt. We called him Boom. He was just he was the absolute best. He was so wild.
Sounds like it.
He had a hand tattooed on his back. It was a fist holding up its middle finger, but the fist had legs and a pussy.
What? Holy shit.
And it said, "Cunt, trust him."
What the fuck? That is so cool.
He lived hard and fast, buddy. He died at 35. Man, that was a hard one for me to digest. But yeah,
Dang.
cunt, trust him, dude. Yeah,
That's a good tattoo.
it is, man.
That's awesome.
It was a middle finger of a fucking fist, and it had legs and a pussy on
Had a
it.
pussy. That's the best part.
If your middle finger has a pussy, send us an email, brohiopodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear about it. How about thanks to our new Patreon subscribers? Kyle Norman. He's a normal man. Kyle Norman. I had a good friend in elementary school named Matt Norman. This motherfucker's head was so big. No, I'm talking about a different one. The one I'm talking about was Matt Nile. Matt Norman went to school with you.
Yeah.
Matt Norman had really gorgeous eyelashes. But I didn't go to school with him. The guy I'm talking about, his head was so fucking big. We played, he came out for football that one year, and they had to go to UD, the college, to get a football helmet for him because his goddamn head was so big. They couldn't give him a regular kid helmet. They had to go to college to get him the fucking coolers for his head.
Was he special needs?
He looked like it, but he was really smart. A lot of acreage for that brain up there to grow, buddy.
Oh, man. Next we got Ange. I'm assuming that's what it is.
Hell yeah, Ange probably cooked some badass lasagna.
Or just
something.
Angie, and she's just trying to spice it up.
Thanks, Ange. How about Sam Red Hat Pritchard? He's got one of them, I thought it said Red Rocket Pritchard, but it's Sam Red Hat Pritchard. Thanks, Sam, buddy, for being here. Love your little red hat, buddy.
It's like the Fred Durst hat.
No, don't got me nothing this shit right here.
Chocolate starfish.
Okay. Hey, man, save your voice. See, we got an hour.
That was easy.
We got an hour left.
That was
Save it.
easy. Yeah. Next we got Meg. Thanks, Meg.
What a nasty name.
Dirty girl.
What a slutty.
Damn.
what a stinky name.
Thanks, Meg.
Meg's got to be short for something.
It has to.
Megalodon, Megasaurus.
Megalodon. That's a good one.
You never know, man.
Yeah.
Something else. I know I've told this joke before, but this right now is a perfect moment for to tell it again. What do you call a dinosaur that eats a lot of pussy? A lick a lot of puss.
Mm-hmm.
What do you call a gay dinosaur? A megasaurass.
But the
You like that one, don't you?
Oh yeah.
I fucking hated it.
Been there before.
Yeah. I think I'm there right now. How about Ayla
Let's go Ayla.
Estrada.
Estrada.
I love to get those at Taco Bell. The caramel and the apples in them.
Oh yeah.
You remember those? They took them away. I think that was an empanada.
Empanada.
This is Estrada. Ayla,
Still equally as delicious.
thanks for being here. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
And you guys, through the magic of editing, we have a podcast promo for you from the guys at Crimes, Killers, Colts, and Beer. They made a special promo just for us,
Oh, that's fun.
just for Brohio.
Cool.
We're going to play right here. These guys sound like they're probably rambling alcoholics, so fit right in with us. He said, hey, how much to run a promo? I said, $20,000. He said, how about $2,000? I said, how about we run it for free? He said, all right, that sounds real nice. So here's a promo from Crimes, Killers, Colts, and Beer. Don't test their blood alcohol level because they're not going to pass. Here we go right here. All right. Through the magic of podcast editing, like I said, we're back. And God, is it a good one? God's been doing a lot of awesome stuff in my life, Robert.
Oh yeah.
And by God, I mean no one has been doing anything awesome.
I was gonna say he gave me strep, so fuck him.
Yeah, man. Robert's got strep throat.
I did have it. Yeah.
Crept up on him on Monday, and he said,
Yep.
hey, pal, the wife's sick. I said, all right, let's try this some other time. And then just hard and fast.
Yep.
Just like a fucking bad blowjob. Hard and fast.
Laid me out.
Got him. You've never had strep before?
First time, and I didn't like it one bit.
Let me tell you something, buddy. That's one of the that's one of the bad ones.
Dude, I hate sore throats and I hate earaches. Those are like the
Yeah.
two worst. Mouth problems is any mouth problem
Sure.
is bad. But yeah, man, it's fucking sucked.
Well, I bet you just can't stop thinking about a good ass cheeseburger.
I can't. Yeah, I can't eat anything. Yesterday I had to eat canned ravioli.
What even
That's
is
all I could
that?
eat. And the first day all I could eat was like a couple bites of broccoli cheddar soup from Panera.
Man, I'm sorry you're going. I'm generally, usually when someone's like, I'm sick, I'm like, I don't fucking care. But I feel bad for you, man, because strep throat is no joke. It hurts.
No, yeah. The past 2 days were really bad. Today was okay.
Okay.
I've been able to drink, and I haven't really eaten, but
I know you're a competitive eater, so it's probably messed up your regimen.
Yeah, I know, but it's weird because like I've had no appetite, so I mean, I guess that helps.
Yeah,
but,
man, it's some popsicles and shit, dude. Those
Yeah.
are good for you.
Yep.
But we're back on the mend. I got a funny article for you guys.
Hell yeah, lay it on me, daddy.
Hospital patient arrested for allegedly switching off neighbor's noisy oxygen machine.
Oops.
A hospital patient has been arrested after she allegedly twice switched off the oxygen equipment on which a fellow patient depended because it was too noisy, German authorities have said. The public prosecutor's office in the southwest German city of Mannheim obtained a warrant for the 72-year-old woman's arrest as she was brought before the magistrate and investigating judge of Mannheim local court on Wednesday. She was later admitted to a correctional facility, the police headquarters and public prosecutor's office in Mannheim said. The woman allegedly turned off the main switch of the oxygen equipment sometime before 8 p.m. on Tuesday. Quote, after feeling disturbed by the noise emanating from it, the statement said. Although the suspect was informed by hospital staff that the oxygen supply was a vital measure, she allegedly turned off the device again at around 9 o'clock. The 79-year-old woman had to be resuscitated.
Oops.
Got that bitch good, didn't she? And is still receiving intensive medical care. Oxygen equipment is used to ensure that enough oxygen reaches a patient's cells. Yada, yada. You guys know what that's for. But that old fucking grumpy-ass bitch said, you're making too much fucking noise over there. I'm coming over. Turned off her fucking, cut her oxygen off. Yeah, take that, you fucking bitch.
Man, that's fucked up.
Take that, you old stinky gutter slut, you fucking bitch.
I know I've said this before, but my mother-in-law lives with us, and she has an oxygen tank, and the kids would always step on her hose. They'd be like, can you breathe now, Grammy? They'd just like stand on it.
I'm going down.
Like, get the fuck off of that.
I can't wait till I have COPD and all that shit, and I gotta fucking drag a tank around with my fat ass.
Oh, shit.
I'm tired of this bitch next door. That sounds like there's Brohio grandma. That sounds like some shit she would do.
Yeah, for sure.
She say, I gotta get home to Rob Dog. I need him to be licking on these meat curtains.
I think she's the reason I got strep.
Yeah, dude, she's nasty. She's in the hospital in Germany right now, though. So
Yeah.
She's got arrested. You see that Brittany Griner got released from Russian prison?
I did see that. Yeah.
I got
Didn't
some
they do a
friends-
swapsy or something?
Dude, oh, the fucking goddamn fucking Joe fucking Biden.
Yeah.
God damn it.
I saw those too.
Here's the thing. Here's what I think about Brittany Griner. Probably tremendous at going down on a biscuit. You know what I'm saying? She's got a nice deep voice. I really like that. I think it's a pretty deep voice. And the best part about all that is it doesn't fucking pertain to me, and I don't care.
Yeah, me neither. Don't care. They're cool.
I think it's pretty cool that she can dunk a basketball.
I guess.
They were going to give her 10 years for a little marijuana oil. I think we probably could have got a little more in exchange than we gave. We gave back the goddamn merchant of death. That motherfucker's a bad dude, and all we got's a basketball player out of it.
For weed.
For a little hashish.
It's like your dumbass is the one that fucking had it over there. I mean,
But dude,
they're trying to bring it back, whatever it was.
There's people. We got a border crisis. People dying places. We got all kinds of bad stuff going on. And then I saw the president and the vice president today in the Oval Office just cheering for this. Oh, it's cool that she's free. I'm happy for her because I don't like when anybody's incarcerated for unless they're like fucking killing or raping or some shit like that.
For weed, though, I mean, yeah, it's...
I just think out of all the crises he's going on, I don't know. I'm getting a little too political here. I don't know how I feel about it. I think she probably looked fucking just not great naked, and she's probably a really good basketball player.
Takes huge shits.
Happy we saved an American. I wish we could have saved more Americans. I bet you she is not on Feet Finder.
I hope not. Dogs are probably huge.
Basketball players have really ugly feet.
Yeah, they do.
You ever see LeBron's feet?
Bad.
You see Shaq's
Shaq's
feet?
are really bad.
I don't know, man. I hope she gets to make out with her wife so hard tonight. That'd be cool. I hope they do it right in front of Joe and Camila. We'll see what happens. This is what happens when I have to carry the show and Robert can't talk. It's just me rambling about my all the shit going on inside of my head, which is usually amounts to nothing. Absolutely.
Hey, man, when you got time to fill, you got to fill it.
Yep. Okay, let's get it going here. Let's get it popping. Let's talk about something other than an incarcerated American female basketball player
All right.
with a really pretty deep voice. This is a weird story, Rob. This is fucking...
Yeah.
I going through this, I said, man, this is a different tale. No one dies. No, nothing's haunted yet. No aliens show up.
Okay.
Maybe not.
Yeah. I mean, you had me linked. Like, I was super zoned in when you put Naked Dumpster Man. So that's what I came here for.
Well, let's see here. On August 31st, 2004. Man. Would I give a fucking left nut to go back to August 31st, 2004?
Junior year in high school?
No, that was the beginning of the senior year.
Beginning of senior year, yeah.
Yeah, dude. That was peak Nickalicious.
Damn, man.
Moccasins, Abercrombie shirt. Just picking them up and putting them down, you know?
That was wild times.
Getting after it.
I missed so much school that year.
You were practically a dropout.
Yeah, I barely went.
All fucking listening to your Papa Roach CDs and shit, dude. No, kept you out of school. August 31st, 2004, at the home of the goddamn Whopper, Burger King. Richmond Hill, Georgia. Holla, all our Richmond Hill listeners. One of the night employees of Burger King was cleaning up for the evening. I think they just got done. This is about 5 o'clock in the morning, actually, when she made a trip to the dumpster to presumably throw the trash away and smoke a fat fucking doobie, because if I'm working at Burger King and I'm taking the trash out, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Smoking a big old...
I feel like, they hand you one of those when you walk out the door.
Like, you're going to need this. They just closed the Burger King a block from here.
Did they?
So sad, yeah.
Like, for good?
Yeah, dude, it was
Damn.
awful. I mean, it was bad.
Yeah.
They say, why don't you go to Arby's and try a Wagyu burger? I said, because that bitch is never open either.
I went to Arby's 2 days ago for my oldest son. I pulled up to the window and they're like, just let you know we're out of roast beef. I'm like, bitch, are you kidding?
Give me that Wagyu.
Fuck, what the fuck else am I supposed to get from here?
Wagyu. They're the Wagyu burger. They say it's pretty good. They boil it like a bunch of nasty bastards.
Ugh.
When she went to the dumpster, she was greeted with grease, trash, heroin needles, syringes, rats, fucking old socks, sandals, all the nasty shit you find around a dumpster. But she was also greeted by something else. Lying behind the dumpster within the enclosure around the dumpster was a naked man. Balls, dick, asshole, all of it just laying there like a beautiful Christmas fruit bowl.
Hell yeah.
And not the hot and sexy kind of naked man like we like on this show. This was a different kind of naked man. This is the kind of naked man that, you know, you got to close your eyes to jerk off to. You can't even look at him. He's just old fucking, rode hard and put up wet, I think is I believe the term they like to say.
Seen them before.
Not only was the man naked, completely naked, I don't even think he had socks on for traction in case. That's what I like to wear for traction when I'm having sex.
Yeah.
Socks. My wife gets so upset when I leave my socks on. So it's a bit of a game now. I'll try and leave the socks on for as long as I can before she notices. I'll be about 30, 40 thrusts in. She said, "You got your fucking socks on?" Because she knows I'm giving it to her real good. It's not. It's No, I'm trained. She got me trained pretty well. I take the motherfuckers off before I get in the bed.
You got to put on the trampoline park socks. Get yourself some added grip.
The hospital socks.
The hospital socks.
The diabetic socks. Not only was the man completely naked, he had no belongings, which it's kind of hard to carry that shit with you when you're fucking naked as a jaybird. He was badly sunburnt, and he was covered in bug bites from fire ants.
Fuck. Oh, dude, that sucks.
If you've ever had fire ants eat your dick, send us an email, Brohio Podcast. To make matters worse, not only was he naked, but it appeared he'd had the fucking shit beat out of him.
Damn.
He had numerous bruises, lacerations, and even had some indentations on his skull.
Holy shit.
And, dude, one of my worst fears is just being caught off guard, but, getting out of the shower.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot my towel. You step out, and there's just some big motherfucker in the bathroom with you, like, let's get it on. And you got to fight somebody naked.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I've been around the block a little bit. I can hold my own with my clothes on, but I've never fought naked before.
Yeah.
I know I can fight with clothes on. I get to throw my body weight around. I get to throw back elbows and shit. I'm like a fucking ninja. But if I'm naked, I've never fought naked. I'd be trying to hide my little dick up while I'm fighting.
Sure.
Not trying to get completely. So then you get knocked out, and you're just laying there with your little frog head laying on your thigh, and you just got the shit beat out of you.
Yeah, I mean, to play devil's advocate, though, I feel like if I'm someone breaking into someone's house and a naked guy's trying to fight me, I think I'm running out of the house.
I came in here to fight, but now I want to fuck.
Yeah, right. I'm so confused.
Scary stuff, man.
I wanted to steal your shit, but now I just want to push it in.
Yeah. Oh, the fucking fire ants got me, though, man.
Fucking fire ants, poor guy.
Yeah, real poor guy.
Fucking caved in skull and fire ants all over his dick.
The woman who initially, the Burger King, the lady from the BK Lounge that found him, she thought he was dead.
Oh.
I thought he was dead, too. I was there. But she immediately ran back inside and told her manager, she said, hey, there's a fucking dead guy out by the dumpster. He's naked. And she was only 14. She saw his dick.
Oh, God. Does that mean he's a predator now?
Yeah, man. No, I made that part up.
Okay.
But sometimes these stories, you got to add stuff in to make them more, sex sells.
Sure.
Sex sells. So sometimes you got to make shit up about these stories to just keep the listener rope-a-doped in. He wasn't. She wasn't. I don't know how old she was, but he was naked for sure. His dick was just laying there. When the police arrived, they thought it was just a naked homeless guy. Nothing more or less, nothing. He got hot, took his clothes off, and he's fucking naked. He's homeless and he's dead.
My balls was hot.
But they discovered that he was indeed still alive. He had some pretty severe head trauma, and his eyes were clouded with cataracts.
Oh, shit. Damn. Poor dude.
He's like a fucking old, Cocker Spaniel just laying there with a naked with cataracts.
His existence is just pain.
Yeah, they said, sir, are you alive? He said, I wish I were fucking dead.
I should have been dead years ago.
The police called for an ambulance and were kind of operating under the pretense it was a homeless dude that maybe was kind of having a bad night, But he was unconscious, so they couldn't ask him any questions like his name. You got your ID on you? They couldn't ask him any of that shit. But the police are then stumped at this point. You got to figure out if this is just a naked guy behind a dumpster, or is he an assault victim because he's covered in lacerations, bug bites, bumps, lumps. The dude's fucked up.
Poor dude.
Or was he on his way to becoming a homicide victim, and then somebody just said, no, he's too fucking naked to kill. Let's dump him. I wonder if that's ever saved somebody from being murdered. Just being naked. Nah, man, that shit gay.
Or just being too ugly in general.
That shit gay, bro. To make this one step crazier, when they get him to the hospital, he kind of get him lucid, and he's not making very much sense at the hospital. So at the hospital, they give him the he didn't have a name, so they had to give him a name. They booked him in under the name Burger King Doe.
Oh shit. Oh man.
I said that earlier today. We were arguing over who had the best French fries. Someone was like, McDonald's got the best French fries. I'm like, what about Burger King Doe? And everyone was like, no, Burger King's French fries are not that good. Burger King has good onion rings.
They do, yeah.
French fries, take them or leave them.
Mm-hmm.
Those fucking onion rings will make your butt stink so bad. Ooh-wee. Speaking of butts.
It's worth it, though.
My Bengals are back fucking doing it to it. Okay, that's really exciting for me. But I was down at the Paycor Stadium tailgating, and one of the listeners from the show, he found me.
Oh, nice.
Yep, I think his name's Cody. I think I was really drunk, so I'd have to go back and look that again. But I hung out with him, had a great fucking time. Hung out with some old buds that I hang out with. Gary, Gary was a few grades ahead of us.
Yep.
But I go down there with Gary. I guess they were going around. The news teams were going around filming tailgates, and they went to Gary's tailgate and they filmed it, and they said, and Gary started arguing with him. He said, last time you guys filmed us, you didn't send us the link. And then the lady, the newscast lady, is like, oh, they started arguing and stuff. And they said, well, give us the email address you want us to send it to. And Gary's buddy's like, you can send it to my email address, which he's got his original email address from like middle school still. It's Bud Lovins. Bud Lovins.
Hell yeah.
So he made the fucking news people write his email address down. He said, it's Bud Lovins. And then he said another little incident where they were at his daughter's school, and the teacher's like, well, let me email it to you. And then he looked at his wife. He said, you better give her your email address, because he's riding or dying with the Bud Lovins. Still got it. I know a lot of people still have some embarrassing email addresses left over from those AOL days.
Mm-hmm.
It still tells the tale of how bad I was as a child when I log into my AOL email, and it's nothing but porn still to this day. I haven't used this motherfucker in 20 years, but to this day.
Shoot, I don't even know any of mine.
I know mine. I still know my username, my AOL screen name, and the password, and I log in. It's nothing but pornography.
That's great.
Yep. And even today, they don't just like email you porn anymore. They're like hot singles now. No.
Yeah.
My email address, that one is just nothing but disgusting, nasty pornography. I'm going to fucking call the police if it doesn't stop. I know that. So we got Burger King, though, and they check him into the hospital. They don't know his name. It took around... He was at the hospital for 2 weeks, but he was kind of in and out of consciousness the entire time. So, they started asking him a lot of questions, his name, all that stuff. They initially, after the emergency room, they transferred him to Memorial Health University Medical Center. But when they were talking to him, this naked homeless man, he was saying shit that didn't add up and it didn't make any sense. The reason he didn't make any sense... It was likely because he had his eggs scrambled, He had those indentations on his head, covered in fire ants. I hope he was just confused because the fire ants had eaten so much of his body. But, yeah, he got fucking whacked in the head a few times. He told the medical staff that he thought, this is where it starts to get a little bit weird. They said, what's your name? He said, I think my name is Benjaman. He meant, his name is Benjaman, but he spells it Benjaman. So there's a man at the end. He said, I think my name's Benjaman. But there's an A at the end. It's very distinct. But he didn't know his last name. He had no recollection of his last name. And sometimes homeless people, stay with me for a second. Sometimes homeless people will go to the county jail or go to the hospital and just refuse to give you their information just to stall the process to keep them there a little bit longer. Yeah. And so, that was kind of almost the vibe they were getting from this guy. But the deeper and deeper they went here, they realized this guy had no fucking clue who he was. The nurses kept on coming into his room, out of his room. Then they'd say, what's your last name? And he'd say, I don't fucking know. And they would get mad at him and say, what's your last name? And finally he said, my last name's Kyle. He just made up a placeholder name. He said, my name's Benjamin Kyle. And that's what they started calling him. That's what they started putting on all of his medical sheets and stuff. They started calling him Benjamin Kyle, even though he had no fucking clue if that was his name.
Gave himself 2 first names. Love it.
Hell yeah. Nicholas Alexander. I work for a German company, and when I talk to some people, they go, "Oh, Mr. Nicholas," or they call me Alex for short. That's not my name.
Yeah.
But I got 2 first names. It's very confusing for some people. So this guy had no recollection at all about where he was, how he got there. All of the memories up and before that point, they were gone. Everything was fuzzy. But he thought he had an inclination that he might have been from Indiana or maybe Colorado.
Yeah, because that's about the same.
So I'm either from this side of the United States or I'm from that side of the United States. Maybe somewhere in the middle. I don't know. And he thought that he might have gone to the University of Colorado. All the while, he's nearly fucking blind from these cataracts he's got on his eyes. This poor guy, he should just let his ass die, man. He also told the doctors that he shared a birthday with Michael Jackson, only he was 10 years older than Michael Jackson. I'll do that for you since you're kind of sore.
I was trying to. I was trying to work it out like. Can't hit it as good, but
something else. He had a very distinct knowledge of restaurant management and food preparation.
Hell yeah, good for him.
But he had no recollection of ever working in a restaurant. This guy's like, "Listen, Doc, come in real close. I have an epiphany. I can make waffles, but I've never worked at Waffle House." So this guy's like a fucking marvel at this point. The doctors and the nurses are thinking, what's going on with him? And he says, "I think my name's Benjamin. I can make chicken tenders without a recipe. I know mini corn dogs go down for 7 minutes in grease at 375 degrees, but I don't know which restaurant I worked at. I will fuck up some mini corn dogs."
Oh, dude, yes.
With some mustard.
Please.
Honey mustard if you want to go one step deeper.
Yeah.
Go deeper, Daddy. That's what the old Rob Dog would have said.
Oh, for sure.
I'm trying to play you and me
No,
here.
it's cool, man. It's cool.
Yeah, but he's, he remembered the processes of making all of these different foods and had a distinct knowledge of food preparation. They said, "Hey, what restaurant did you work in? That'll help us figure out who you are." And he said, "I got no recollection of ever working in a restaurante." So they're still at a loss here. They still have no fucking idea who this guy is. But there was little bits and pieces were starting to pop into his head, but he could never really put it all together. He didn't know his name. They called him in the hospital. They called him BK Doe, BK. Then they arrived at Benjamin Kyle, which the initials are BK.
Damn, I didn't even realize that.
Yeah. Have it your way. Police, they really started to treat this like an active investigation, like a missing person, but not a missing person. They canvassed the area where they found his naked fucking gay ass behind the dumpster. There were no stolen cars that were reported in the area, no missing persons. People didn't recognize his picture. They put him on TV. They ran him across the news stations. They hung flyers with his picture, and no one knew this guy. No one came forward and said,
"Oops,
the naked dude with the dumper. I know who he is. That's old Clam Jam Clem. That's Clem.
Clem."
That's Randall. That's old Clam Jam Clem.
Clem, that's such a good name.
You guys got a lighter. That's what Clem sounds like.
That's how I picture a Clem would talk.
You guys got a fucking lighter.
Frequents a VFW.
Yeah.
Eats cigarette ashes on breakfast food.
I ain't voting for no goddamn Democrat.
While he lives in a trailer.
All I need is my Bush Light. I need a pack of Pall Malls. Now, this is a quote from Benjamin Kyle himself. He said, "I had no idea who I was. I couldn't remember. I had no idea how I got there. It was like I was a ghost. Legally, I didn't exist. When you think about it, it's pretty pathetic if nobody's actually looking for someone who disappeared." Dude, that's sad, man.
It's really fucking sad, man.
I mean, isn't there anyone important enough in your past life that they want to look for you? I can only try to imagine what it might feel like to have a family, as I have no memory of ever having a family or being a part of a family. As far as my memory is concerned, I have no idea what it feels like to have a name and a sense of belonging to something bigger than myself or to someone other than myself. Sometimes I wish I hadn't woke up.
Damn, man, that's really sad.
That is sad, man. You start to think about it. It was torturous for the guy. He started to run into a lot of problems, and we're going to get into those in a second, but he had so much meaningless, I guess, guilt. I shouldn't call it guilt, but just a feeling of emptiness and meaninglessness in his heart, in his soul. They just didn't want to be alive anymore. He's like, no one misses me. Nobody's looking for me. They put my ass on the news. I was trying to... I can't fucking see. I got cataracts.
Fuck, dude.
I can't get a fucking cigarette to save my life.
That's rough.
I know it is rough, dude. He was probably a hell of a nice guy, though, which kind of, null and voids all this.
Yeah.
I tremendously hope that someday, if somebody loses me, somebody will come looking for me.
I hope I never get lost, but if I do, I at least hope one person comes and look for me.
Yeah.
I'll look for you if you look for me.
Thank you. Deal. Much
Sold.
like the ghost thing, will come back and haunt each other.
Yeah.
He was obviously diagnosed with an intense case of retrograde amnesia, much like Michelle Tanner and
Fuck yeah.
the end of Full House when she fell off the horse.
Fucking conked her noggin.
She said, "Who the fuck am I?" And they had to teach her all over again who she was.
Yep. She wanted to know where the fuck her mom was, and it's like, your mom's fucking dead.
She's dead. She hated you so much she killed herself.
Fuck. About got me.
I knew it too when you started to drink. You laid the groundwork for that fucking joke.
I know.
Sit down, Michelle. And they start playing that fucking that sad sitcom music.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can pull some up for you guys.
So cliche. You're just gonna YouTube sad sitcom music.
Yep. Sad.
There. Oh, that's moments. Let's see how.
It's not quite what I was looking for.
No.
Let's see if we can find something a little better.
We gotta find that fucking scene, man.
Sad sitcom writer. No thanks. We'll go back to this one. Sad. Michelle, I know you've been thinking a lot about your mom and where she's at, but she didn't like you. And one day, I don't know how to tell you this, she decided that she hates you so much. She fucking killed herself. She put a car battery in the bathtub with her, which didn't really do anything. So then she got a toaster. She was so stupid. She took a bath with a car battery.
Have mercy. Cut it out. You got the other two in the back just doing bits.
We need our own sitcom.
Yeah, Mr. Woodchuck over there.
Ranger Joe. Or is it?
Ranger Joe, yeah.
He's the coolest guy I know, Ranger Joe.
Did somebody say wood?
He was, he had amnesia. So the retrograde amnesia, that's when you get some serious trauma to the temporal lobe. It deletes your memory. I wish I could fucking just hit my temporal lobe and forget everything I've ever done. In this case, he suffered so much trauma to his brain, it pretty much deleted. It fucking cleared the hard drive, Jack. That fucking SD card was full and it got lost. Somehow his, he started to make different. They started kind of passing his story around on TV, and they raised enough money he was able to afford the procedure to have his cataracts removed. So he can finally see.
Man, I saw a video of someone doing that on TikTok. I didn't know it was possible, first off.
Yeah.
And
it's crazy, man.
I've never seen it before. And I just literally sat there and just watched it. And it's so weird. They like scrape it out.
Yeah.
And it looks so weird.
I have a cousin who had a dog. They paid like $2,000 to have its cataracts removed.
Mm-hmm.
This dog hadn't been able to see in years when they had its cataracts removed.
Mm-hmm.
And it was old. It was like 10 at this point. It got cataracts young. So then it could finally see. When it couldn't see, it would sit still. But then it started to see, and like the second night after having its cataracts removed, it wandered off into the street and got fucking killed.
No.
Yeah, it got hit by a car and it killed it.
Oh, fuck.
And I'm like,
dude, that sucks.
And all I can think was, it's sad they lost their dog, but at least he fucking died without cataracts, you know?
Damn.
He could see the light when he got to heaven. When he got the little doggy heaven.
Dude, that sucks.
It's the dumbest fucking dog ever, too, man.
Holy shit.
I wouldn't have wasted $2 to have the cataracts removed from this dog's
Man,
eyes.
that sucks. That's my luck right there.
I know. Jesus. Yeah, so he got his cataracts removed, but the crazy part was when he got his cataracts removed, he looked in the mirror and he was just aghast. He was blown away because he was 20 years older than he thought he was.
Oops.
He said, man, I look like shit.
That's what I see every time I fucking look at myself.
I know, me too.
I'm like, God, I'm fucking ugly.
Police continue to do their job, though, going through birth announcements in Indiana and Colorado around the time that he said he was born. I think he said he was born around like 1948, 1949. Okay. They did the fingerprints, the DNA databases. They pretty much exhausted all of the available options for them as all their investigative tools. The police were getting nothing. There was no mention of this guy anywhere in space or time. He was just a fucking anomaly in the universe. He just showed up naked behind a dumpster one day. So then you start to think about maybe this guy's a goddamn extraterrestrial, or he just fell from another dimension or something. You're taking a naked shit right before you get in the shower, and the portal opens up and it sucks you through with your turd. So then you're just fucking harpooning and twirling and twisting through space trying to fight this turd away from you that got sucked up with you. And then next thing you know, boom, you're waking up behind a BK dumpster with a fucking
head contusions,
onion ring sauce on
fire ants all over your legs.
I got ants on my dicks because he had multiple dicks. I said plural. There's a lot of dicks.
I had ants in my pants, so I had to fucking take them off.
That's a very viable point, man.
Yeah,
could have just had ants in his pants. He kind of, and this is a weird predicament here. He was listed on the FBI's kidnapped and missing persons database, but he was the only one on there that they knew where he was at. He was still on their missing persons database. They thought, it's kind of weird, but they were looking for his identity, not necessarily his physical being, but his I guess his who he was. I mean, like finding his driver's license or something.
Just looking for someone to say, "Hey, my fucking dad's been missing." Yeah,
and he didn't. None of that happened. No one came forward looking for Benjaman. I said, no, he's just some fucking guy.
Dude, that is so fucking sad.
It really is. Unfortunately, he had been living his life in the hospital. They were nursing him back to health. He had this head contusion. There was, but they took good care of him, and he got better. So then what happens at the hospital when you're cured and there's nothing wrong with you? They make you leave.
Until you kick rocks, yeah.
For you or I are pretty logical. Our wife, family, come pick us up. I could probably, at this point, my wife hates me. I could maybe get you to come pick me up.
For sure.
Maybe Jersey Pete. He's a nice guy. Somebody, Jerry Polly from the Hillbilly Horror Stories. He's a fine-ass motherfucker. Would get him to pick me up.
Yeah. This poor fuck, he just has to go back to the Burger King.
He doesn't even know a phone number. He just he goes back behind the dumpster.
He takes his clothes off and goes back behind the dumpster again.
I gotta start over.
This is the first place I remember being.
Oh, yeah. He's like, I'm gonna need about a handful of red ants. Know that.
They go out there and they just use all their cardboard boxes to make him a house.
So yeah, man, he gets out of the hospital. That's so fucking terrible.
Dude.
He has no choice. He had to start living with, like, there was different benefactors and mostly just homeless shelters, and he was bouncing back and forth between these homeless shelters and people that kind of had latched onto a story. They would let him stay at their houses for a little bit, but nothing was permanent. He couldn't open a bank account. He couldn't do anything because he had no social security number. He had no driver's license. He couldn't get a job. He couldn't do anything. I kind of, this is a little bit, I'm like, okay, he probably could have did something. Listen, I've gone to Home Depot at 5:45 on a Tuesday. There are people without driver's licenses there willing to help you with the work you're trying to perform.
Yeah.
They will help you roof a house. They will help you demo a bathroom. If you're looking for workers, you can get workers. Yeah. But in this guy's case, I try to reason with myself. He had no skills because he didn't remember how to do anything. All he can remember was like food preparation. He knew how to cook a little bit, but he couldn't remember anything else besides that.
It's weird to me though that he could still even remember to do that.
Yeah.
It's just weird that certain information that your brain can retain.
Sure, but he just had no recollection of a past or an identity. It was like flashes. He's like, I think I might be from Colorado, but I think I might be from Indiana as well. I think I worked in food service a little bit. He just wasn't sure of anything. It was a guess. He didn't even know his first name. He swore to God that his first name was Benjaman with an A at the end. Well, newsflash, that was not his fucking name. We'll figure all that out here in the end. Now, this is another quote. He says, "You'll find a lot of people who say it's all bogus, that I'm faking it for whatever reason. But one thing's for sure, I'm not getting rich out of it. I'm 64. I'm trying to get on with my life as best I can. I figured I've got 10 more years to live considering my social and economic bracket. I can't make any long-term plans other than try to get along mostly day to day." He was doing yard work and other odd jobs, kind of like what I said. But there was a giant revelation when someone said, "Hey, buddy, go move the truck," and he moved the work truck, and he knew how to drive the truck. So maybe not all was lost. One of his acquaintances forwarded his case to the Georgia Congressman Jack Kingston, and they sent his DNA samples to the FBI's National Criminal Justice Info Center. When they started to beat the path of the DNA stuff, that's kind of finally when they started to make some headroom, but not much. He was approached by Florida State University grad John Wickstrom, and they made a documentary about his life. It's called Finding Kyle Benjaman. It's a pretty cool little documentary, and I wouldn't recommend you waste your time on it because I'm telling you the entire fucking story right now.
Save you that time.
The movie did do some good, though. Florida State Representative Mike Weinstein, maybe relational to Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah, let's not talk about him.
Was able to get him a Florida Legacy ID, which
Okay.
pretty much does absolutely nothing jack shit for you.
Right.
A local businessman who saw the news story gave him a job washing dishes, but he also gave him a 5x8 air-conditioned shack to stay in there in Jacksonville, Florida.
5x8, fuck yeah, that's a shack.
I can't even. Yeah, it's a shack, dude.
It's like half of this room.
That's what Jesse's living in. No, he got an apartment.
He got an apartment, yeah.
Hell yeah, man. Now, this was in January of 2015, so you got to think. When he bumped his fucking head and landed behind that dumpster, that was 2004. He's been meandering the streets, homeless shelters, different friends that he'd made just by a story for over 10 years. That's fucking miserable.
That's awful.
That's awful. This guy didn't have much to give. He was just kind of at the bottom of the barrel at this point. There were many petitions made online to get him a new social security number, but that's not really that easy. You can't just march into the office and say, "Hey, I need a new social security number." You can't like a library card. Which I went to the library the other day. My daughter wanted to go.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "Hey, I'm a resident here. I'd like to get a library card." And the lady said, okay, give me your driver's license. And I said, all right. I handed my driver's license to her. She said, sir, it's going to be $68 for you to get the library card. I says, it costs that much for everybody? Paisley's like fucking dancing, and there's, she's so excited to get a book. And she said, no, you formerly had a library card and you never brought back your book. I said, what book was it that I didn't bring back? She's like, oh, it was the Dog the Bounty Hunter biography.
Checks out.
I said, oh, yeah, I still got that. Can I bring it back? She said, no, you got to pay for it. I said, Paisley, we're not getting a fucking book today. Dog the Bounty Hunter biography.
That checks out, man.
So fucking dumb.
That's definitely you.
I've been dumb for a long time.
I was hoping it was going to be something cool like Goosebumps or something.
Yeah. I thought it was going to be,
like how to draw cartoon characters. Like
This bitch was stoic, too. She didn't think it was funny. She didn't think it was entertaining.
She's pissed that you stole the library's book.
I said, I'm laughing. I said, do you know who Dog the Bounty Hunter is? She said, yes. That's all she said. Yes. And she kept looking at me. I said, this bitch is ready to get this fucking money. She's, she's ready.
That's so funny.
I knew I should have checked out the paperback one in case I lost it. But I was bougie. I was flashy. I got the hardback book, big old thick bitch. Never brought it back. That book's worth about, I looked it up, I can get it on eBay for $3.99 now.
But you have to pay $68 for it
In
now.
a fucking library of goddamn $100.
Oh, dude, that sucks.
Yeah.
Fucking sucks.
Yeah, the library's a block from my house. It's a
Yeah.
nice library, too. It's brand new. I can't go up in there.
You're fucking blacklisted now.
I think I got a podcasting room, too. Don't fucking need it. Don't want to use their services.
That's
Go
so
fuck
funny.
yourselves. Yeah, with all these different petitions they started to do online, there are some genealogists.
Yeah.
That's where you study genies, I think. Like gene scientists, Lee Dungarees, different kind of gene scientists. They started working with him, but there was one specifically. She was making a lot of headroom with this case. She was starting to make some DNA connections through this Powell family, but he kind of went off the radar. She claims that he stopped talking to her. Well, on the other hand, the guy had no money. He was homeless. It's not like he had cell phones and shit. She was having a hard time getting a hold of him. She didn't know where he was living at because he was going shack to shack living. He didn't know where his next meal was coming from.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't know where he was going to be staying at.
He didn't have his roots planted.
No, he didn't. There was a number of major efforts to identify Kyle by matching his fingerprints or DNA with that was stored in various databases. These efforts included, these are all the different things they used to try and track down his identity. Fingerprint comparison to the FBI's National Crime, the NCIC database of offenders. Fingerprint comparison to databases of military personnel and government workers. A Y-DNA test through the Center for Human Identification at the University of North Texas Health Science Center. A Y-DNA test for genetic genealogy through Family Tree DNA in Houston, Texas. Searches on Y-DNA online databases such as Y-Database. So they went through all these different... They did facial recognition comparison by the Indiana Bureau of Motor Vehicles with individuals who have obtained a driver's license since 1998.
Dang.
They did research of birth announcements published in Indianapolis newspapers around the time that Benjaman said he was born. They did postings with Missing Persons Network. In July of 2009, a search was being made by the United States Department of Veteran Affairs for Kyle's Vietnam draft registration based on his birth date and his physical characteristics. That wasn't found. Newspaper articles were published in the Boulder Daily Camera, which is a newspaper there in Boulder, Colorado, and in the Denver Post, based on Kyle's memories of the University of Colorado Boulder campus. It was hoped at the time that someone would respond to the article and identify him, say, yeah, that was my buddy back in college, but nobody came forward.
Jeez.
Poor fucking guy.
I know, this sucks.
He was an alien.
Right.
So flash forward to around 2015. He has multiple people working with him trying to figure out who he actually was. There's a really good in-depth article on newrepublic.com. The author there was doing a tremendous job walking with Benjaman through all this, through all the different genealogists and all the different outlets that he was using to try and figure out who he was. And this author was kind of coming to the end of his article, I believe it was a male, because Kyle still didn't know, Benjaman Kyle still didn't know who the fuck he was, and this guy didn't really have a story at this point. But then all of a sudden, there was a small lead through some of the other DNA stuff. So you know how they can track people down through the DNA websites where you try and figure out your lineage, all that. They track that shit. They database it, index it.
Yep.
And they started getting small leads, and there's one specific genealogist that reached out to there was a family reunion coming up for this family named Powell. And there were some slight connections with the DNA to this Powell family.
Okay.
So this genealogist got on the Facebook group for this family reunion and said, hey, we're trying to figure out who this guy is and help us connect the dots on some of this stuff. But what really broke it open is they took a copy of the family tree that they'd been using. They took it to the family reunion, and someone noticed that there was a great-grandson missing from the family tree that they presented to the family there at the family reunion. They said, this family tree is not right. There's someone missing right here. So they realized that the family tree they'd been utilizing the whole entire time was off. There was a great-grandson in question that either wasn't displayed or was displayed improperly. The author of the article at newrepublic.com and the genealogist, they reached out to Kyle, and they had really great news for him. The DNA test in combination with the family tree, they finally were able to determine his confirmed identity. They found out what his name was, where he was from, his birth date. They figured out all that stuff just from the work they put in with this family reunion. They were able to figure out who he was. But at this point, they call him and they tell him, they say, Benjaman, we found out who you are. And he kind of hung up on him, and he wouldn't talk to him. He was so emotional over the process that he couldn't really talk to anybody. Flash forward an hour or two, and they call him again, and he answers the phone, and then that's when they start to go through everything with him. They tell him who he was, where he is from, all this, all these different things about his life. Even the cousins and whatnot of the family reunion, they were like, yeah, we remember that guy. And they start to fill in some little nuggets about where he was from and kind of what his life was like, and they try and, fill in the blanks for him. Kyle was, but up to this point, he was kind of at the end. He's like, I just want to fucking die. I don't want to be on Earth anymore. I have no identity. I have nothing to live for. So this was really a saving grace when they came forward and said, we know who you are, man. You have an identity. And Benjaman was right about most of the things. He recalled about his life. He was indeed from Lafayette, Indiana. That's where he was originally from.
Okay.
About an hour north of Indianapolis. As a child, he attended Catholic school. His father had died in a boating accident in 1969, and his mother died from cancer in 1996. He had three brothers named Furman Jr., Furman, Thomas, and Robert. But finally, he had an identity. On September 16th, this is from Wikipedia, 2015, Benjaman Kyle announced on his Facebook page that his identity had been established by a team of adoption researchers led by C.C. Moore. Quote, a little over 2 months ago, I was informed by C.C. Moore that they had established my identity using DNA. Many people have shared their DNA profiles so that they may be compared with mine. Through a process of elimination, they determined my ancestral bloodline and who my relatives were. A DNA test was taken by a close relative has confirmed that we are related, Kyle wrote. The Orlando Sentinel reported on September 22nd that Kyle had received a Florida identification card with the help of iDignity.
Ignity. So iDignity, but what's ID?
An Orlando-based organization that helps the homeless and others obtain identification documents.
That's a cool organization.
Yeah. On November 21st, 2016, Kyle's true identity was revealed to be William Burgess Powell.
Burgess.
William!
That sounds like a royal name.
I'm a bit of a royal myself.
Sir William Burgess Powell.
So he was completely off with the Benjamin name. Not even fucking close.
He had never been jamming.
He was Benjaman no more. He was William Burgess Powell. He was born on October 29th, 1948 in Lafayette, Indiana, and he was raised there. In 1976, he had cut ties with his family and abandoned his possessions, including his car and the trailer where he had been living. His family filed a missing persons report at the time, and police found he had moved to Boulder, Colorado, where he had moved on a whim with a coworker named Chico, I believe.
Chico, for real?
Yeah, I'm serious.
Hell yeah.
His birth date turned out to be one of the details about his previous life he had been able to remember correctly.
Hey, Chico.
Yeah, dude.
Fucking just throw a toothpick in your face.
A reporter was able to find some Social Security records of him working in various jobs until 1983, after which there was no records that could be located. So we have a little clip here from when he's talking to the news station.
Home. He finally has the answer to a simple question. Who am I?
Beady Pablo, motherfucker!
Story, the man with no name, more than 4 years ago, but his struggle stretches back 11 years to the end of August 2004.
That's the day someone found the man.
Oh, fuck, dude.
He's fucking closed out the whole window.
I was trying to maximize it, and I hit the X.
Did that close out the YouTube stream?
Yes.
YouTube's like, what the fuck happened?
Oh, my God. Hold on.
No, you know what? We're still going.
Not for long. Oh, God. Hold on a second. I got to stop. There we go.
Oh, shit. You said X. You hit the wrong doodad.
Yeah, dude.
Chico. Like that Razor Ramon reference.
Yeah. Hover over history. Click the first option under recently closed to open. The last one to you shut down. History.
Yeah, Daddy.
All right, it says we're still live.
Yeah, we didn't go down at all.
What a fucking idiot.
Oops.
What a goddamn... Yeah, okay, let's restart this. There's going to be an ad.
It's been more than a decade of wondering, searching, struggling for this man who now calls Jacksonville home. He finally has the answer to a simple question. Who am I?
Beady Pablo,
Well, we
motherfucker.
first brought you Benjaman Kyle's story, the man with no name, more than 4 years ago, but his struggle stretches back 11 years to the end of August 2004.
There we go.
That's the day someone found the man beaten, sunburned, and left for dead near a dumpster outside a Savannah area Burger King restaurant. And when he woke up in the hospital, he had no idea who he was. Doctors diagnosed him with retrograde amnesia. Kent Justice has followed the story over the years and has
My
the first
amnesia's in
interview you'll see
retrograde.
with Benjaman since he learned his true identity.
Well, initially I was stunned. I mean, just literally stunned. I was not functioning. I couldn't even talk about it.
Benjamin Kyle tells me he finally knows his real name. As he put it, he's not ready to let that name loose yet for his family's privacy. But his shock has turned into some relief and a
William
release
Burgess
of
Powell.
pent-up feelings.
I never really talked about the bad times, and there were some bad times in which, you know, geez. And, you know, I never talked to people about it because I never thought that...
This guy has a lot of hurt in his heart, man.
For
I
sure.
can tell he's
Yeah.
harboring some stuff.
You know, I had the right to impose my problems on them. Sorry. And, I don't know. You know, 10 years ago, if I'd have known that I had to go through this past 10 years, I would have just made up a Social Security number in the hospital.
Over the past 11 years, he has wondered, he's asked for help, he's appeared on local and national television shows looking for clues with no success. Then a breakthrough that let him know for sure who his family is and where he comes from.
He's reading Harry Potter.
Hell yeah.
1976,
My dude.
1976, and they have not seen me since then. Of course, we haven't been in communication. They thought I was dead.
Alive but lost in his amnesia, Benjaman got help from this woman, Cece Moore.
The methodology that we used to solve the Benjaman Kyle case was actually developed for adoption searches for people who wanted to identify their birth families.
Wish she'd help
It's
us.
applicable
She looks like a
to
witch.
lost identity
She is a
as
witch.
well.
Moore and
Cece.
a team worked on Benjaman's case for 2.5 years, comparing his DNA to those in databases across the country. Along with information BK thought he remembered, Moore's team made the connection when law enforcement couldn't.
In fact, it really amazes me that law enforcement didn't solve this case sooner. We had his birth date. We had his home state. We had his family's religion. How could this not have been solved? It took all this time, and thanks to genetic genealogy and DNA detective work, he finally has what should have been his for years.
What a dumb
Without
bitch.
verifiable
With his
identity,
religion. Yeah, they fucking have that at the police department.
Businesses wouldn't employ him, and shelters wouldn't house him. News for Jax helped him connect with a state representative to get Benjaman this Florida Legacy ID. We brought the issue to U.S. Senator Bill Nelson, who sympathized but couldn't change the laws surrounding legal identification.
This is the catch-22 that he's in, and there's obviously got to be a solution. You can't leave this fellow without an identity.
This man, Josh Schrut, saw our story in 2011 and gave BK a job and a place to live, while many others helped however they could.
I don't know that there's any way I'll ever be able to repay him. I would like to, but you know.
What's next for Benjaman? He's not sure entirely, but he has more options than he did without knowing his real name.
Is up in the air yet. I'm thinking right now that I'm going to stay in Jacksonville. I mean, I know so many people. My support system is here.
Poor
Benjaman.
guy.
It's rough.
Yeah. Well, there's kind of a story to be told here with, I guess, what happened. Why did he break away from his family? I gotta pull up my fucking tabs again because I'm lost. So what happened there in the 1970s when he just disappeared from his family is kind of what we're saying. During the author's research, she learned that Kyle's father was an alcoholic with extreme PTSD from World War II.
Yeah, makes
That's
sense.
some PSD right there,
Yeah.
Jack. All the kids got beat pretty regularly, and he had a very hard life at home. There for a while, Kyle had a lot of odd jobs around Lafayette. He worked as a janitor, more specifically at a strip club.
Hell yeah. Cleaning up loads in the bathroom.
That is the nastiest job, man. There used to be a little like peep show by where we grew up.
Yeah. McCook's.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I just felt so you would go in there. Did you ever go in there?
Mm-mm.
You would go in and you would put a quarter in the machine.
Mm-hmm.
When you put the quarter in the machine, this black cover would scroll down. And when the black window would scroll down, you would be looking at a stage, like a stripper stage. The quarter would like ring a bell, and then like this fucking mutant stripper would wake up out of a lawn chair back behind the wall, and she would come out on the stage and she'd start dancing, and she would come up to your window and just like cram her butthole in the window in front of you.
So weird.
And there was like a little hole, and you had to keep on throwing dollars through the hole. Only reason I know this is because they would let us in when we were like 15 and 16. And it was disgusting.
Could you put your finger in like their ass if you wanted to?
It would have been really hard for her to contort her body down to get any orifices near the hole.
Gotcha. That's probably why they put it down so low, I would assume.
Yeah. And then it was nasty. But when you would walk into these booths, at the time I didn't really realize what I was seeing.
Mm-hmm.
But the walls and the floors were just covered in gum. Yeah, it was disgusting.
Oh, God.
But then there was always some like toxic Avenger walking around with a mop and a bucket.
Hazmat suit.
Slopping that mop down, mopping up all the cum, man.
God, that would suck.
And I just remember being in high school like, I can never have a job like this where I'm just getting paid to clean up slop all day. Somebody has to do it. It's a thankless job.
Gotta go clean up them dick tears.
I gotta go mop up cum again. He also worked at a warehouse and a factory. He was a handyman, and he was a janitor at a movie theater as well. When he was 21 years old, he moved into a mobile home a few miles north of Lafayette on property owned by a family named Richardson. Then, to the family anyways, in 1976, Benjaman Kyle, he just disappeared from the earth. He missed dinner one night, and no one saw him ever again after that night. Almost puked to myself right there. The last person he was seen with was a fellow by the name of Chico Goetz. The author reached out to the author of the story reached out to Chico and was blown away that someone knew his friend. His friend called him Willie, and you'll remember that his name was William. But they called Chico, and Chico was like, "Yeah, man, I remember Willie, man." One Saturday night, after several hours of drinking, Chico proposed that they move to Boulder, Colorado. Benjaman Kyle had recently received a small settlement from a previous employer after he fell and slipped on an icy dock and broke his arm.
Why is he so fucking accident prone?
The moral of this story,
Holy shit.
The premise of this guy, I think the dude was a scumbag. I think he was borderline scumbag, but I could be wrong. But the dude sounded like he was emotionally hurting in that news video. They worked at fast food restaurants in Boulder, Colorado, but ultimately Chico said, "Hey, man, I can't fucking do this no more." And he went back to Indiana and left, we'll call him Benjaman Kyle, left him in Boulder, Colorado. The last time that Chico saw Benjaman was in 1977. But filling in the gaps from 1977 until 2004, there's literally nothing. His family lost him in the 1970s, and this guy had a friend Chico up until 1976, 77, and from 1977 until when he was found naked behind that dumpster, there's no record. I think there might have been in 1983, if I recall, there might have been a Social Security record of him working someplace.
He had to have been like doing like under the table shit. Cause
yeah.
God, that's so much.
But there's a huge
time.
gap there.
So much time missing there.
It's over a 20-year gap there where
that's crazy.
They have no idea what he's doing. And you got to stick with me for a second. Well, I'm going to use my Alex Jones voice here for a few minutes here because we got to talk about the government mind control of them abducting our residents, the people around us. They got the MK Ultra, the Epstein Island. Some of these guys are just coming to miss and they can't find them anywhere. They're turning the frickin' frogs gay. They're making them drink gallons and gallons of this alpha beta bone broth that you can get for 50% off at Infowars.com.
Do I need to do a Kanye impression right now?
No,
please
don't do that to us. Don't get us banned.
That dude's fucking ate up, man.
Yeah, he is. I can't even. What the fuck is wrong with him, man?
I don't fucking know, dude.
He was probably having some of the most sought after pussy in the entire world. Threw it all away.
My dude's manic as fuck. He definitely is.
I got nothing for Kim K. She doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah.
But
he's going through the fucking ringer. He's a fucked up person.
He needs to come down here with us.
No.
I would let him say whatever he wanted to say to get it off his chest, and then we could just attack him. We could just physically fight him, put our body weight on him, let the world see what his bare feet look like. No, there's a lot of... So this goes back to this repressed memories and the mind control stuff.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people claim that there's a program out there where they take you, they have you participate in these experiments, and then they dump you.
Mm-hmm.
This guy is a perfect example of someone that got dumped at the... They didn't even give this guy the dignity of dropping him off at the Taco Bell.
Yeah.
They took his ass to Burger King. And this guy has no memory whatsoever. Chico Goetz says, yeah, we were working in a restaurant in the 1970s. And you talk to Benjaman, he says, I think I remember some food preparation. This guy's fucking last memory is the last time anybody saw him, 1970, 78.
It is really weird, yeah, now that you put it that way.
So the only thing this guy remembers about his life, he said, I might have been from Indiana, but I might have been from Colorado also. And I remember some basic food preparation. The last time anyone ever saw Benjaman Kyle is when Chico said, listen, man, bowler's not for me. I don't like working in fast food.
Mm-hmm.
No one knew who this guy was. No one had seen him. And ever since this story, all this stuff came out, there hasn't been someone like, yeah, man, I used to fucking do crack with this guy back in the 90s. Or, in the early 2000s, this guy was a fucking cook at the Waffle House or something.
Yeah.
There's nothing. Benjaman Kyle did do an AMA on Reddit, 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
I think one in 2012 and one in 2013. They were pretty successful, but there was never anything that came of them. There was never any, oh, that's my uncle, or that's my dad's brother. Or, I saw this guy once working the door at a club. Nothing. No one's ever seen this guy. And you can... This is that video that I just showed you.
Mm-hmm.
He's almost 70 in that video. Looks pretty well kept for his age.
Yeah.
He has nice fucking teeth.
I would have guessed him in his 50s there.
So
late 50s maybe.
Someone that's living in homeless shelters, not knowing where the next meal is, just showing up in Boulder without a job, they're gonna look the part, man. They're gonna look like refried ass. They're not going to be looking young at almost 70 years old.
Mm-hmm.
That guy's different. Like he was maybe in a controlled environment, just something to think about. Well, I didn't. These are all my thoughts and prayers right now. This is not anything that I read any place else. But God damn it, man. I know this shit's happening.
Yeah, and I mean, let's look at it logically. I mean, if they are going to take people to try to do these crazy things, what's better than to just grab someone off the streets?
Yeah.
That no one's really going to miss.
And then when you're done with him, where do you take him? Where do you want to take him? I don't know, Burger King?
Butt naked and
We gotta get him fucking naked first.
Let's gnaw on his ankles a little bit.
Let's eat his butt like a Whopper. I will eat a double Whopper anytime you want me to.
I'm there, man.
Whoppers are so good.
They are really good.
I haven't had in a long time Hardee's. I haven't had Hardee's in a minute.
I had probably about 3 weeks ago. I had their breakfast.
This shit was good, wasn't
Dude, their breakfast is so fucking good.
It's good.
Yeah.
When Emily was just starting to read, we drove past Hardee's, and she said, let's stop at Handy's.
You had me at Handy's.
Yeah, you had Daddy at Handy's. My daddy's getting a handy from Mommy tonight. So, yeah, I don't know if this guy was a subject of the MK Ultra shit, or if he was some type of mind control or government experiment. But, dude, if this guy, maybe I'll reach out to him, because I think he's got a Facebook page. And I'll ask him maybe to do like some, we got our buddy Tony Rodriguez, who alleges he was part of the 20 and Back space program, but he had to go through some therapy to start to realize a lot of these repressed memories. Maybe we can, his life is about over at this point. He's probably nearing 80 years old, mid-70s. Maybe you would give him some type of answer to where he was at and what he was doing the entire time. a lot of his family have memories of him when he was in, you know, his 20s and shit, when he was still in Indiana, but there's no one knows shit about him from the, you know, 1970 whatever until
78 to
found naked behind a dumpster.
That's fucking wild, man.
Yeah, dude. I remember one time we were at the Burger King on North Dixie.
Mm-hmm.
And this is when that Burger King had a play place.
Yeah.
And I went to the very fucking top of that play place. I was at the top, and there was another kid at the top of the bubble with me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to sound racist or anything, and I'm not being racist.
Mm-hmm.
But every time I've been around, and I've had lots of black friends over the years. I've been to their Thanksgivings. I've been around their families. It's nothing like that. But the black kids seem to like walk faster. Like they develop faster.
Mm-hmm.
Like they start walking at younger ages. They talk at younger ages. I don't know if that's a real thing or not. But my friends growing up, who I was around their families, their little brothers and their cousins and stuff were like walking faster and talking faster than the white kids I was around. And when I was in this bubble at Burger King, there was a young black kid at the top, very young, still in a diaper. But I remember getting to the top, I'm like, this motherfucker has no business being up here by himself. That's how he was, maybe a year old or something like that. And we're 30 feet off the ground. And he's there at the top, and he's just in a diaper and one sock. And I was young, dude. I was maybe 5 or 6. But I remember asking him, like, you need help getting down? And he's just staring at me because he's not talking yet. He's walking, but he's not talking yet. And dude, he just grabs his diaper and just rips this fucking diaper off. And so much goddamn poop fell out of this diaper at the top of this bubble.
Oh, shit.
He loaded this fucking bubble at the top full of his poop. And I knew exactly what it was as soon as he ripped his diaper off. I said, nah, I'm getting the fuck out of here. And I went down the little zoomy slide down the bottom. And I just had this nasty look on my face. My mom was like, what's wrong? I said, the kid at the top of the bubble pooped. Fucking pooped. And I remember my mom was like looking around for his mom. And his mom was actually up at the counter getting food, trying to carry it all back. And the lady got back with the food, and my mom was like, ma'am, is that your son there at the top? She said, yeah. She's like, my son said that he had an accident up there. She said, oh, my God, is he okay? And my mom's like, no, he pooped. He didn't fucking die. He didn't break his arm. He pooped. And then the mom started yelling at him and screaming. I remember, dude, she was mad. And that little boy was up there at the bubble just, like, looking down at her. He was not coming down.
He's like, I ain't coming down.
So this woman was big, too. She had to crawl her ass up there and get his little fucking poop-drenched ass down from the top of the bubble. And it stunk, dude.
Yeah.
I still had some fries left. I said, no, I'm done. It stunk, man. We had to get. I don't remember how old I was. I know. I might have been a little bit older, maybe 1st or 2nd grade, but still, very vivid memory of this kid ripping his fucking diaper off and slinging poop everywhere, and just bloop, 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 rolling out little Rolos, little baby
Little
Ruths.
rabbit turds.
Yeah, little rabbit turds.
Oh, shit.
But I just remember getting up there like, man, you're too fucking young to be up here by yourself. You're too little. I'm 5 times your size, and you're up here by yourself. But that was my experience with young man pooping in his diaper and almost getting it on me. That's traumatic.
Good story.
A lot of people wonder what the fuck is wrong with me.
Yeah.
I've gone a lot of places and done a lot of things that just wild shit, dude.
Mm-hmm.
It all adds up to this.
I remember we were at Chuck E. Cheese one time. Speaking of play places, this was really, really fucking weird. It was there was nobody there besides us, and like there was maybe like 4 tables worth of people there.
Yeah, the animatronic things up there singing and dancing and shit.
You know what? I don't remember if they did.
Those creepy fuckers.
I don't even think they had them up and running that day because there were so few people there. It was like early morning, like maybe midday. I don't remember what was going on, but so Carter, our middle son, was probably 2 or 3. So Cooper would have been about 8. Cooper was running around playing games, and while Carter was in the big jungle gym area,
yeah,
he was in the tubes, and he would come out, and he was playing with the boy up in the top. not physically playing with them. You know what I mean? They're like chasing each other and shit.
Yeah.
That was about his age. And we kept watching them and try to keep an eye on both kids, and we were ready to go. And we told Cooper, like, hey, we don't know where Carter went. Go up and check on him and tell him that we're getting ready to leave. And we're sitting there by the slide, which is one of the ways to come down. The other way was to like climb down, like the little scaffolding thing they have for the kids to climb up, where it's like staggered nets and shit.
Yeah.
And Cooper climbs up the nets, goes up top, finds Carter, and we said something to him about he was up there playing with one of his friends. He came down there. Carter was up there by himself.
What?
There was nobody else up there.
Really?
We saw another kid in there with him.
No way.
Because it took Cooper a minute to check. When he found Carter, Carter was with him. He's by himself.
Well, this took a fucking weird turn.
Yeah.
I had a kid poop on me. This is a full-blown poltergeist.
You said that and it made me think about it.
Dude, that's gnarly.
And then, like, yeah, I remember, like, afterwards, that shit like that scares the hell out of my wife. And
That's terrifying.
she was like, I don't even want to talk about that.
Yeah, I wouldn't either, man.
Because nobody else came down.
You let it back in.
It was just our two kids came down the slide, and that was it.
There's nothing.
We even stayed around.
That kid's probably still up there dead inside that thing. Looking for his dad.
It's fucking weird, man.
Ghosts suck, dude, because they scare you so bad. They don't even they don't care about your feelings. It's like a dog. They'll bite your face to play with you or to kill you.
Yeah.
Ghosts don't fucking care.
The only explanation that I could have possibly thought of was in between the time that we found Cooper to tell him to go up there, he may have came down the slide when we were focused over there.
That was a ghost,
but it would have been perfect timing.
I can call Bishop James Long right now. We can confirm that it was a full body apparition.
It was weird, man. I hated it.
If you've ever fucked a ghost, send us an email, brohiopodcast@gmail.com. If you've ever been fucked by a ghost inside of a Chuck E. Cheese jungle gym, send us 2 emails.
Please. Yeah.
One of any pictures you have for the incident, and the next one, just type up how it happened.
Or if you ever fuck somebody while wearing a Chuck E. Cheese mascot uniform. Or fuck Chuck E. Cheese.
I'd like to talk to somebody that's worked at Chuck E. Cheese. That'd be fun.
That'd be fun,
Seems like a pretty miserable job.
Remember all the rumors a while back about how they would recycle their pizzas?
It's stupid. Their pizza's disgusting.
And then they have like a you can order to-go pizza, but it's like from like it's called something else. It's like
from under pizza. Back in the day pizza.
It's like Richard's Pizza or something like that.
Oh, it's nasty.
Yeah, it's got a weird name, something like that.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for listening to this episode. Sorry it's late, but you guys know we wouldn't do it to you unless there's a reason.
Yeah, we love you guys.
Rob Dog's sick.
I had a bad couple days.
Pray for him.
Please. 1 like equals 1 prayer.
Talk to you guys soon.
Love you.
All right, naked dumpster dude.
All right, YouTube people. Thank you guys for listening, hanging out with us.
Yeah, I don't see comments anymore, so hopefully they're good. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and sorry this was a mess. We love you.
Bye, guys.